Guys, and welcome back to Real Life with Abi. My name is Abi Bola. Thank you for stopping by. So if this is your first time on my channel or you've never subscribed, you've been here before but you've never subscribed, can I please ask you to consider subscribing by just clicking on the red subscribe button, and then if you click on the bell to turn on notification on, so whenever I post a new video you'll get a notification so you don't miss any of my videos. If you are one of those people that keep coming back, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. So guys, I'm out and about and it's a beautiful day today. It's the beautiful place that I'm in. So today I'm going to be talking about why I quit my mental health job. If you're a newly qualified nurse, the salary is absolutely rubbish. It's not. So if you're looking at making money from doing nursing in this country, when you are newly qualified, the salary is absolutely rubbish. It's not enough to live on at all. But with time, things get better. I decided I was just going to do the preceptorship, like I said, and then I was going to move on. So I did the preceptorship after 6 months. Then I thought I'll just be there, work out with NHS for 1 year and then leave. So as soon as it was 1 year, I just resigned and I left. And then I went back into locum work. I was working for agencies and I was working in different places. And then it got to a point that, you know, the things that happen with people with mental health problems, you can never predict them. I was lucky all the time I practiced as a mental health nurse. I never had any problem with anybody. I never got attacked or anything. But I know a lot of people that have been attacked by patients. And because I never had any problems, I didn't have any issues with that. But one thing that actually made me to decide I wasn't going to do that anymore was the issue of suicide. So in going from different places, one place to another, I had so many things happening in different places that I was working in. You know, like I was saying, when I walked on the ward, I saw so many horrible things that just got too much for me. There was this particular lady from Zimbabwe, I think she's from, and because her husband cheated on her, she was a midwife actually, so she wasn't just some random person that didn't know what she was doing. She was an educated person with a good job, a midwife. She was a midwife, and then because the husband wasn't the partner, the husband cheated on her, she jumped in front of a train. She did not die, but unfortunately she's got a massive scar here, and then she lost one of her eyes. So many things that you will see on the world, and you will see people that are hearing voices. You will see them saying the voice has told them to chop off their finger. They chop off their finger. They will see them burning themselves with cigarette butts when the voices in their heads are telling them to do things. Some of them, when the voices in their heads are telling them to harm other people, rather than harm other people, they will harm themselves. So they burn themselves, they cut themselves, they do all sorts of things. So if you're not really mentally strong, and if you're not sort of what they call odaju in Yoruba, you may not be able to stand that for so long. And that was me. I couldn't stand it for too long. I just couldn't. It was just too much for me. It was too much for me. I just had to get out of clinical nursing. And so I only did clinical nursing for approximately 2 years and I left. But even the 2 years, it was too much. The 2 years was too much for me. You know, when people talk about mental health and they're saying, no, is it really true that these people hear voices? Yes, it is true. They hear voices. Because if you're sitting with them, if you're where they are and they're having a conversation with the voices, you will actually know there's a rationale behind the conversation they're having. Because you can actually hear them respond to what that person is saying. So they'll be asking the question. So it's like two voices. So they say this thing, it could be in one voice. They say the other thing, it could be in another voice. And you can hear them actually arguing with each other themselves, but they're arguing with the voice in their head saying, no, I'm not going to do that. No, you asked me to do that day and I did that day and it did not work. No, I'm not going to do that today. And you know, you can hear them. So you know they're actually having a conversation with something you cannot see. Anyone and anyone can get tipped over anytime. It's just the grace of God. No one is immune. What we trip A over, B will be able to survive times 10 of it. So we all have different resilience levels. So let's just pray that God will not give us problems or issues that will tip us over. The last one that happened and I decided, Lord God, I'm not doing this anymore, was that I went to work in a place. And this lady, I used to work on the same ward so many times. I was used to working on those wards, so I knew this lady very well. Some young Jamaican lady, smallish, with 2 children. And apparently this lady was depressed because she had issues with her partner. He cheated on her, and then she became depressed. She ended up on the ward and was there for quite a while. And then initially the psychiatrist, when they thought she was ready, she was going out on leave, because when people are there on the ward and they are not well, once they start getting a little bit better, then they give them leave to go out. So they give them leave to go out. So the psychiatrist will sign them off to go out for a certain number of hours during the day. Hers was escorted leave. So she started going out with some members of staff, with support workers on the ward, to go shopping to the nearby shops and all that. And then it moved to her going out with her family members for some hours during the day. And after some months on that ward, she was doing really well, really well. And she was well liked by everyone. So she was assessed by the multidisciplinary team. So you have the psychiatrist, the doctor, the nurses, the ward manager, and other members of the multidisciplinary team. You could have occupational therapists and all that, whoever was on the team. So they reviewed her and thought, okay, she's okay to go out on her own. So they signed her off to go out for the very first time, to go home to her mom for the very first time for some hours. And so in the morning, she was signed out by the nurse that was in charge. And I did a late shift on that ward. So at about 4 o'clock, the family started calling that they had not seen her. And I said, well, I went to the nurse because I wasn't there in the morning. The nurse that was there in the morning, she did a long day. She was there morning and afternoon. So she said, well, this lady's left in the morning. I think she left about 10 o'clock or 10:30. And we were saying, what could have happened? Where could she have gone? So because we couldn't find her, we actually had to call the police. And eventually, unfortunately, we discovered that this lady left in the morning. She went to a park, bought a rope, and she killed herself. She hung herself. So that was the last straw for me, and I thought, no, I cannot do this anymore. Because it's a torture that somebody somebody you've been working with, somebody you see all the time, and you think this person is doing well, and all of a sudden they go out and they never come back. It's not that they had an accident or anything. They actually literally went out and decided to kill themselves. It's really, it's a very horrible experience. The lady I worked with, the lady that let her out in the morning, she broke down completely. She was an agency staff as well. We worked for the same agency, but she had like a contract with that ward, so she worked there every day. She was like she wasn't permanent, but she was rotated in, so she worked there almost every day. So she broke down completely and wept like a baby. So because she was thinking, was there anything else I could have done? But there was nothing she could have done. She had already done the care plan, she had done the risk assessment, she'd done everything. So there was nothing she could have done. So that was how this lady went, and that was it. So I just thought, no, I don't want to do this anymore. So I decided I was going to start looking for something else. So I went for another training. They call this Deprivation of Liberty Safeguards training. This is where people have cognitive impairments, mostly elderly people or some people with learning disabilities. They have cognitive impairments, so they don't really, they've lost the capacity to make decisions about some things. So, and when they are on a ward where they cannot go out, they are not allowed to go out, so they are sort of restricted. You have to put them on what we call deprivation of liberty safeguards. So I went for that training because I just needed to get away from clinical nursing. So I went for that training. But before I was able to complete that, before I even finished that training, I got this job that I'm doing currently. So what I do at the moment is I assess people for funding for care packages. So I still work for the NHS. What I do basically is I go to the people's houses, or if they are in a care home or wherever they are, assess them to see if the National Health Service will pay for their care package. So that's if they need care packages, or if they have to fund their own care packages, or if the local authority has to fund their care packages. So leaving my permanent job, going into locum, I did the permanent job for 1 year. Like I said, band 5, you start as a band 5 when you qualify as a nurse, mental health or general or whatever nursing. You start at a band 5. But if you study midwifery, you start at a band 6. Why that is, I don't know. So, and there are so many levels in the band 5. So Within that 1 year that I worked as a band 5, qualifying as a band 5, within 1 year, I actually skipped all the levels. So all the 9 levels in band 5, I skipped them, and then I got this job, the continuing healthcare job I was talking about, as a band 6. So I'm still working in the same place. Like I said, we are out and about on a away day. So my colleagues are aware. We finished for the day. Really, we finished our away day, and we all decided to just have to just stay around and have some fun, because it's a very beautiful. You can hear the birds and everything. It's a very beautiful place. I'm going to just show you a little bit of the environment when I finish the video, so you can see it's really, really beautiful. So I started this work where I am at the moment, and it's a very lovely place. I love the place. I love the job. I have really nothing to do with clients. Yes, I assess them, but I really have no hands-on business with them. Once they are assessed for funding, that's my business done with them. So there's peace of mind. I don't have to think about patients. I don't have to think about anyone taking their lives. I don't have to do care plans. I don't have to do risk assessments. I don't have to do any one of those things. And I always say, when I tell people that I can never, ever, ever go back into clinical nursing, they are surprised, but I can never go back to clinical nursing. It's not something for me at all. It was good when I did it, but that issue of people topping themselves up, I really cannot. I cannot stand it. I'm not able to. I don't have that strength. I don't have the grace actually for that thing. So that was how I decided to leave clinical nursing and do what I'm doing currently. And the thing is that God has been really good to me, because in 2 years that I qualified, within 2 years that I qualified as a nurse, I actually went from a band 5 to a band 6, from band 6 to a band 7 within 2 years. So many nurses actually don't even pass that band 5 level for the whole duration of their for the whole time that they practice as nurses. They just stay as band 5. They go to the next one level after the other, one level after the other, until they get to the top of the band 5. So if you want to move from band 5 to band 6, you have to go for an interview, get a job. It could be within the same place that you're working, or it could be somewhere else. So it's not automatic that you move from a band 5 to band 6. You will move from each level of your band to the top level every year. But if you need to move from that band to another band, you have to move from where you are to another place to go for interviews, apply for job, go for interviews, get the job. Or if there is an advert where you're working, then you can apply, do your interview, get the job if you are successful. But God has been so good to me. Within 2 years, like I said, that I qualified, then I moved from band 5 to a band 7 within 2 years. So like I said, God has been good to me. There's one thing I would like to say, really. If you want to do anything, you make up your mind to do something, you can achieve anything. That's all I can say. Things, especially if you have your papers in this country, the sky is the beginning for you. You can achieve whatever you want to do if you are focused. This country rewards hard work, rewards intelligence, rewards you knowing what you are doing and being sort of focused. But if you're not focused, and if you're one of those people that want to have quick money, then you will easily get into trouble. But if you're focused on what you're doing, and you know what you're doing, you need to know your stuff as well. This country is not where you go round especially if you're a black person, you cannot go round the back to get to the top. You have to work for it, but you will be rewarded for your intelligence, your knowledge, and your hard work. Alright guys, so this is where I'm going to end today's video. So please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.